Hello, nerds around the world. Welcome to another episode of the Nerds United One podcast. I'm CM Miller, your host for this particular show that we have here tonight. And it is episode 56 of our show, and the topic that we will be tackling on this particular episode is the top 10 moments from Pixar films. And I have I have two great guys with me. Of course, you've seen them on the show a lot. And of course, these are great guys. Love having them on as usual. Love them as part of our whole Nerds United One family. We have Mike Gulick from Geek Salad. Mike, what's going on, man?
Hey, Chris. Hey, Colton. Glad to be here again. Sorry I missed last week, but I was kind of sick, but I'm feeling a lot better now, and I'm ready to talk some Pixar.
All right, great, definitely. And also we have Colton Hunt here with us. What's going on, man?
Well, happy to be back, man. I gotta say this list was hard to put together. I mean, not only was boiling down my top favorite Pixar moments to just 10 moments difficult, but I also have an honorable mention list. Even putting that together was difficult.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh, so many moments from Pixar. So many to list. Yeah, but yeah, we'll be looking forward to hearing those honorable mentions. Even it must have been tough. Narrowing down the choices. I know it was tough for me. Damn. But before we get to our main topic, a couple of news items. I want to tackle before we get into the before we start with the show. One of them is that Lucasfilm and Disney have announced that Star Wars Episode 8, which is the 8th chapter in the whole Star Wars saga, has commenced production. And of course, it will be directed by Rian Johnson, who will also write the script, the returning cast members will be Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, John Boyega, Oscar Isaac, Domhnall Gleeson, Andy Serkis, Gwendolyn Christie, and Lupita Nyong'o. And also joining this cast will be Benicio del Toro, amazing actor, definitely. And also Laura Dern, who was of course, you might know from Jurassic Park, and a new actress by the name of Kelly Marie Tran, apparently an Asian actress, who's a relative unknown to me. In episode 1 will be her first major role. I can't believe, when I first saw, and they apparently put out a teaser, not really a teaser, but an announcement video, which showed, which shows where the Force Awakens left off, which is, of course, if you haven't seen if you've seen the movie already, the idea where Rey is on the planet where Luke Skywalker is supposedly hiding in exile, and she actually finds him, and she hands him the lightsaber. And, I guess it would be kind of a different take on that, but when I saw that, I was like, I got pumped. I mean, I got pumped. I seriously was ecstatic. It's just like, I got a little tear came down from here. This is like, I mean, just the era we're living in right now, like Star Wars movie once a year. Yeah, I'm incredibly excited for Rogue One, but the end of The Force Awakens left you in such a way where you're just so tantalized and so dying to know what would happen in the next chapter in the story. And Rian Johnson, I loved his work with Looper. I thought that was a daring and very inventive and imaginative movie. But this is like his first huge major film project. I mean, yeah, many people had doubts about him taking on a major studio blockbuster like this, But I have extreme full confidence that he is able to do Star Wars justice. I mean, J.J. Abrams launched Star Wars back. I mean, brought back Star Wars back with like dynamite. It just exploded back its way into the public consciousness. But I think Rian Johnson is going to make a more superior movie. I'm just really excited to see where the next chapter of the story goes under his direction. Okay, Mike, what do you think about the production announcement of?
Oh, thrill! I mean, I am really thrilled right here. But no, I mean, awesome to hear. The teaser was fantastic. It's gonna be the first time that we've actually seen a Star Wars sequel take place immediately after the previous one ended. I mean, there's always been like usually between a 1 to 20-year gap, and this is gonna be instantaneous. So that's kind of cool. I also thought it was kind of funny that we got a teaser for Episode 8 before we actually got a teaser for Rogue One, but. But yeah, I mean, I was thrilled beyond mention. Cannot wait to see it. And I also loved Mark Hamill's tweet after this one came out. He was like, 2 movies down, still no lines yet.
He said apparently Brian Johnson gets more lines than I do.
That's true.
But still, you gotta love Mark Hamill.
Oh, Mark Hamill's fantastic. He's a class act all the way. So I cannot wait. I mean, dude, this movie cannot come fast enough for me.
All right, definitely. All right, Colton, what are coming to you next? What do you think of the announcement?
I actually didn't see the announcement, so this is news to me. Sounds pretty cool, though. And like Mike said, seeing a movie taking place right after the last, or immediately after the last, so I look forward to seeing what they do with this and the movie in general. Because, well, Star Wars, man, my favorite franchise of all time, through all the ups and through all the downs.
Definitely, absolutely. It was just like, definitely. It was just like, yeah. I wanted, yeah. Like I said, I'm excited to see Rogue One. I'm excited for it. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. We got so much content coming out. It's just like, but Episode 8. Oh.
Even though Ryan Coogler hasn't the director hasn't done anything bigger than Looper. Well, you have to remember though that the director of Fruitvale Station immediately went from that to Creed, and he did an awesome job. So I have high hopes for what we're gonna get with Episode 8.
Yeah, like I said, Brian Johnson. I mean, he's gonna kick so much ass with this. I mean, definitely. And another item I want to discuss with you before we get to the main topic is that the Season 2 trailer for Daredevil has just finally dropped, and it seems to feature some footage, most notably the introduction of Frank Castle, a.k.a. The Punisher, played by John Bernthal, who was on The Walking Dead for a couple of seasons, And, man, woo! It didn't pull any punches. It's just like, wow, dude. So awesome. It's just like, this looks, it looks, when you look from this, I haven't seen the Netflix series yet. I've seen the trailers, but when you look at this trailer, it looks like the action and the darkness have escalated 10 times. It looks like it was like some major shit is gonna go down, and the showdown. My head is just feeling for the showdowns that Punisher and Daredevil are going to have, in this upcoming season, and Let Your Nachos, bit tantalizing. Definitely want to see more of her. I wasn't a fan of the Daredevil movie. Who wasn't a fan of that Daredevil?
Yeah, we know. Pretty sure Ben Affleck wishes we forgot about it.
This is like. Looking at this, that's just like I'm blushing right now. This looks so awesome. It's just like they're definitely not going to disappoint us with this second season, I hope. Okay, Mike, did you see the trailer? If you did, what did you think about what just dropped today?
I absolutely saw the trailer. Well, let me first get something off my chest. I honestly don't think Daredevil is quite as bad as people make it out to be.
Okay.
I think there were some enjoyable moments of it. Not the entire movie, though. But no, the Netflix series was absolutely superior in every single way, and this second season looks so awesome. I cannot wait. And it's only about a month away. That is so cool. That is so killer. Killer, punishment, whatever. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I've never really seen anything that John Bernthal has been in because I'm not a fan of The Walking Dead. But I mean, just seeing the shots of him as Frank Castle, he definitely looks like he can pull it off. He looks just like he's right out of the comic books, and you know when he's like that whole like monologue of his saying like you're half measure. You don't do what it takes to
You're a man that can't finish the job.
exactly. You're a coward. I'm like, whoa, this is like, they both have the same goals, but their ideology is completely different. This is going to be an epic confrontation, and yeah, throwing Elektra into there is going to be just. I can't wait to see more about her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right on. Okay, Colton, what you think? You saw the trailer. What you think?
Yeah, I've never seen Daredevil before, but watching this trailer, it makes me want to actually go back and binge the first season so I can be caught up to date and watch this season because, man, that trailer was awesome. I mean, we've seen a lot of movies where the heroes are always superhero films where the heroes are always trying to avoid crossing the line and whatnot, and if they do cross the line, they usually enter a heroic blue screen of death for a while before breaking themselves out of it. But the Punisher, however, is somebody that just took a great big flying leap over that line, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with that storyline because we don't really see many storylines like that much in the mainstream, so to speak. And I really liked his final lines to Daredevil in the trailer. I think you're a half measure. You can't get the job finished. You're a coward. I mean, for him to actually just flat out call Daredevil a coward was nothing short of damn.
You're only one bad day away from being me.
Yeah, I saw a few people saying that sounds like something the Joker would have said. Did he say that in The Dark Knight? I can't remember. Not something.
Yeah, I think his variations is like to them. He's all talking about. It's like how the Joker's like, you're garbage to kill somebody. It's like you shouldn't talk. It's like you didn't even know this try to act like one of them. Don't talk like one of them. You see them, you're just a freak like me, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a variation, I suppose.
Yeah. Even though this is something that we've kind of seen, things like this before in other movies and whatnot. I like that, I like that this is being played out in a television show and whatnot, so they can really get a chance to explore the whole good guy versus anti-hero sort of thing. I think this might be a very good. Might be a very good storyline, and will finally get people to shut up about all comic book movies and products being exactly alike.
Oh, definitely. We are so looking forward to the return of Daredevil, most anxiously. The trailer looks good. I mean, my head is filling with thoughts at this point. I'm really. I just hope I can watch the first season though. I'm just really anxious to see this series. Definitely. Okay, moving on.
Definitely taking advantage of the fact that they're on Netflix, that's for sure.
Definitely. Absolutely love Netflix. Okay, on to our main topic. Our main topic is counting down our top 10 favorite moments from Pixar movies. Of course, Pixar is the animation studio. It's the animation studio, which is under the umbrella of Walt Disney Pictures. And they churn out so many high-quality movies. From the Toy Story movies to Bugs Life, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Wall-E. They definitely are at the top of the top. These people are geniuses when it comes to animation, not only animation but storytelling, and they definitely have some standout moments for their movies. They definitely really have some moments that really, kind of grip you in so many different ways. I definitely love. I'm just in love with Pixar. I'm just in love with Pixar. I just love what these guys have churned out. So, going on to number 10 in my favorite. Pixar moments, going for me, it's the moment where Flick leads the colony in the Bugs Life. With Flick, of course, he's voiced by Dave Foley. After their colony has been attacked, by these grasshoppers, and Rick comes up with the brilliant ideas of why don't we get out? And so why don't we get some, we'll get some bugs to find us. Of course, with Flick, he's a very earnest, well-intentioned, earnest character with some good intentions. But yeah, he seems to let's just say he seems to mess up half of the time. So they can use this as the perfect opportunity to say, yeah, with him, if he goes out looking for these bugs, it's an opportunity for him to never come back. And so he goes out to the colony. So he's walking out to the colony, and these two kids are downing him. He's like, I don't think you're going to make it. And so my dad says you're going to die, But you got to admire this character's determination. Blake can be seen as a very naive, very earnest character, but you can't help but believe in his determination to find help, to help out his people, who help out his colony against Hopper and his very nefarious band of grasshoppers, But I mean, some people would call it a corny moment, but it's a very uplifting moment for me. It was just I thought that was like I thought it was a particularly well handled one, and Dave Foley so captures this character with that voice of his, and I felt I felt really engaged in that moment, definitely. So it's definitely a favorite moment for me. And so Mike, why don't you give us a number 10 on your list?
All right. Before I start, I just have a quick honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end of Inside Out, when Joy and Sadness are working the console together,
Mm-hmm.
that part always gets me right here. But for my number 10, I'm going with a moment from Cars, and it's actually Cars end credits. When they're at a drive-in watching the various car version of other Pixar movies, and you got John Ratzenberger's big old semi truck, and he's watching the movies. It's like, wait a minute, they're using the same voice for all those characters. What kind of a that part the fact that they're kind of breaking the fourth wall and telling it, yeah, John Ratzenberger has been pretty much in every single Pixar movie. I always love that. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the movie Cars, but that one moment always gets a nice chuckle out of me.
Definitely, absolutely. I haven't seen Cars yet, but yeah, it sounds like a terrific moment to me. Well, okay. Colton, why don't you give us number 10 on your list?
All right, before that, I have not seen Cars 2, Brave, Monsters University, or The Good Dinosaur, so there won't be any moments from those movies on my list. But anyway, my number 10 is actually also a moment from Cars. It is when Lightning helps the King finish his last race. I mean, yeah, it's not, the moment isn't anything special and it's rather predictable, but I think it's well put together and gets its point across, and it works within the context of the movie. And even though it's an obvious lesson that some things are more important than winning, it's still a good lesson. And like I said, it works with this film, I think.
Okay, all right, definitely. So that's your number 10?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely.
But the reason why it being predictable and whatnot is the reason why it's that low on my list, but I thought it still warranted a mention.
All right, okay, all right, break. Okay, going on to number 9. Number 9 on my list for me is the birth of Nemo. At the beginning of the film Finding Nemo, you have Coral and of course Marlin, voiced by Coral's voiced by Elizabeth Perkins, and Marlon's voiced by Albert Brooks, and they're waiting for the arrival of their newborn. I mean, you gotta really, even in that few moments which the characters on the screen, you really sense, you really kind of sense the chemistry that the two characters have, definitely between Elizabeth Perkins. It's quite a sweet scene, as they're preparing for the birth of their child, and
Children.
Huh?
Children.
Say that again?
I said children. There was more than one kid.
Oh, right. Of course, yeah. There's more. Yeah, of course, there's more than one. Right. Definitely. I mean, like I said, it's a rather like it's a rather sweet moment. You get the sense that that these two are uh, they're really in love. Definitely. And until a barracuda comes out and knocks, oh my God, it's just like that moment just like grips you. You're almost like it's quite an emotionally gripping scene. It's just like I mean, and the aftermath of it, your just heart just sinks. When you find out the wife's been lost and all the kids have been lost, and he takes Nemo into his hands. It's just like it's just it's quite it's a scene that it's a scene that really tugs the heart. Definitely, it's just I think it's one of the best and one of the most heartfelt of moments in this and from what these guys have turned out. It's definitely an excellent moment for me. Definitely. All right, Mike, why don't you give us number 9 on your list?
My number 9, I actually just switched around right now, because you reminded me of another scene, not from Finding Nemo, but very similar. It's the opening like 10 minutes of Up, where you see a young Russell, young Carl.
Yeah, Carl.
And meeting young Ellie, and then seeing their relationship progress. And I mean, it takes 10 minutes for you to fully invest in this couple, and then when Ellie passes away, I mean, it is an emotional gut punch. I mean, the scene from Finding Nemo is that's very emotional as well. But for me, those opening 10 minutes are probably one of the most powerful moments of all of Pixar movies. I mean, that one is just the fact that it only takes just a few minutes for you to really get so emotionally invested in this relationship, and then to have it torn away in that kind of starts the progression of the entire movie. It's just such a powerful, strong moment.
Definitely.
Right.
Well, I haven't seen it, but from what you're saying, it looks like it can. Yeah.
What do you mean you haven't
It
seen
can
it?
tear you apart. It sounds like it can tear you apart there. It's just like,
Big time.
yeah. Okay, Colton, why don't you give us number 9 on your list?
Number 9 on my list is It's Bigger, It's Badder, ladies and gentlemen, it's too much for Mr. Incredible. Yep, the introduction of Syndrome. I mean, in those few minutes, he really knows how to make an entrance, and then he almost kills Mr. Incredible right in that bit. But then of course, he has to gloat and whatnot. But it was a very effective scene because I went into this movie not expecting any twists or whatnot. But when he says, "After all, I am your biggest fan," I'm like, "Damn!" And then it's like Batman and the child sidekick scenario just gone completely bonkers and what have you, and the way he just effortlessly throws Mr. Incredible around shows just how much of an effective threat he is and how dangerous somebody with a highly scientific and gadgeteer mind can go if they're not pushed in the right direction and what have you. It's a very good way. One of the better villain introductions from Pixar, I think, and I have a couple of I was originally going to have a few more villain introductions on my list, but they got knocked down to honorable mention and what have you. But you'll find out about those later. But yeah, very good first impression for a very good baddie from Pixar.
Definitely. I think Syndrome gets me creeps though. It's just he's just utterly, he's just an utterly terrifying character that makes my skin crawl. It's just like, and then in one particular moment where he's like, in the Incredibles, he's like, where he when Mr. Incredible grabs the assistant, he's just like, he's just so utterly cruel, and just like, and his methods, though, man, he just gets to him, man. It's just like he definitely is, he's definitely a trip, though. He's definitely, awful.
Yeah. Then he's like, and when everyone's super, no one will be.
All right, all right. Okay, going on to number 8, and the number 8 on my list is the moment in the movie Monsters Inc. where Mike and Sully go to work. You know, Pixar has given us some amazing moments that your jaw just drops to the floor. And then when they transport you to Monstropolis, man, it's like it's just like when you go there, it's just like the amount of detail and they put into it. Even though it's an anime, it's like a whole nother world. It's like you're just instantly transported to a whole nother world. It seems so real in a sense, when these guys go to work. When these guys go to work, it's just like you're just utterly there's a sense of wonder behind it when you're in Monstropolis for the first time. It feels like a place where you can actually live, and I credit that to these guys for making a scene that sweeps you like that. It's definitely a great moment. Okay, Mike, why don't you give us number 8 on your list?
Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, my number 8 is from The Incredibles also, and it is actually when Elastigirl gives the masks to their kids. Just when she says, if you see someone coming, use your powers on them. And then Violet's like, you told us not to use our powers. And that's when she says a line that really, it's really strong. She's like, you've seen all the cartoons where all the bad guys, they go fighting the good guys. This is not that. If they see you, they will try to kill you. You have to stop. You will not let them kill you. You will use your powers. She's just laying down the law for her kids. She's like, this is not a cartoon. This is real life, and this is life or death. If they see you, they will try to kill you. That was a really harsh, but she needed to do that. She needed them to be ready, and I think that kind of just shows. That kind of shows how kind of confident that she was in her kids' abilities and in them as people. She was trusting them to survive on their own while she goes to try and rescue her husband. So I think that just shows how strong that family is, but also what kind of stakes they were up against.
Right. Definitely. Great pick. All right, Colin, why don't you give us number 8 on your list?
Number 8 on my list is the beginning of Finding Nemo. When that movie starts off, it looks like your basic kind of film where Marlon's like, "What if my kids don't like me?" and his wife's like, "I'm pretty sure one girl says, I'm pretty sure one is bound to like you. There's only over 500 of them and whatnot." And then right after she says that, all the children get murdered. Damn. And then she dies too. Oh my gosh, Pixar, that is the opening scene. It's meant to be the moment that really drags you in, and there's no better way to drag you in than by having a vicious predator killing 500 children and then their mother. Oh my gosh, that was heavy, And then Marlon sees Nemo and promises him that he won't let anything happen to him, and then calls him Nemo like Coral wanted. It's a very good way to set up the overall conflict of the movie and why Marlon acts the way he does. And it was what I think saved the movie from being something that could have easily just been a boring cliche storm and whatnot. So props, Pixar. You really hit the ball out of the park with that opening, even though it's pretty much parental nightmare fuel incarnate.
No, of course, that mom was on my list. Definitely a great moment in that movie, definitely. Okay, going on to number 7 on my list is the moment where Flick meets the circus bugs from A Bug's Life. This is definitely a terrific moment. It is truly hilarious in some instances. You know, I like the because there's some great little bit itty bitty moments. You know, especially with Frances. You know, the ladybug, and she's with the upper bugs. Oh, dear Greeley bug, and they're just taunting him mercilessly. You know, just. I mean, she's almost just about to burst at this moment, you know.
So being late, but that makes me automatically makes me a girl, huh? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Definitely. And you can see, and of course, in the moment where Flick is just astounded, you know, about with the bug saying, you know, you're trying to when they're pointing out their warrior act, which of course he at the time he doesn't know they're circus bugs, you know. But yeah, his eyes just lit up. He's like these guys could be our only hope. And he's like, and then at the end he's like you're perfect. It's like my colony's is under attack. It's like will you help us? And he said like we'll take the job. It's definitely quite a swift scene and a great moment. It's just had, like you say, a great balance of humor. It's just, and it's just, it's just a great scene. Definitely. Mike, why don't you give us number 7 on your list?
All right. Excuse me if I decided to pick a passenger, apparently.
Okay.
My number 7 is from Inside Out. It is Bing Bong's Sacrifice. That part just, when you first meet Bing Bong, he's kind of acting a little shifty, and you're kind of wondering, is this guy a good guy or a bad guy or whatever? And then, he and Joy gets trapped in that abyss, and he finally realizes that the only way she's going to get out and save Riley is without him. And that part is just, you realize that this guy loves Riley so much that he knows the only way that he knows the only way that she's gonna be saved is through joy and sadness, and Richard Kynes brought a lot of life to that character through his voice. It's a very emotional moment and a very emotional movie.
You can say that again. Apparently, Richard Kind burst into tears while doing that scene and whatnot, and I can't blame him. I think I was actually crying with that. I think I was crying when that moment happened also.
Yeah.
It's like when it comes to Inside Out, I can say you can keep the opening it up in Toy Story 3. This is the Pixar movie that really killed me.
I cannot argue with you there, man.
All right. Okay. Good pick. All right. Colton, why don't you give us number 7 on your list?
Number 7 on my list is from WALL-E, and that's when the captain of the Axiom defeats Otto. Mm-hmm. I mean, man, I know Otto was just following his programming, but the way he was mercilessly crushing WALL-E underneath that the device that would put for the plant and whatnot, I'm like, okay, this guy just needs to be beaten now, and to see the captain just getting up to his feet while music from 2001: A Space Odyssey plays. I mean, that's like one of the most hilariously badass moments ever, and it's just a guy standing up. And it's also pretty uplifting though, because he said he doesn't want to survive, he wants to live, and in that moment, that's what he's doing. And then he says, "Otto, you are relieved of duty," and it's also kind of like they're retroactively defeating the HAL 9000 or whatever he was from what's his name? From 2001: A Space Odyssey and whatnot, and Otto's like, no, and then bam, he's gone. Yeah, get another good moment from Pixar.
Oh, man. It's just like so many of these movies. I mean, when it comes to like the depths of like parents, in these like Disney movies, Disney, can really, oh man, it's just like, let's just say, the effect on the brain, can be quite, traumatic. Bambi's death, the death of Bambi's mother is still like.
Oh, please do not bring that moment up.
Okay, yeah, but still, like, yeah.
Is this leading up to your number 8 or something?
Well, overwhelming to say the least, definitely. Okay, moving on to number 6. And this is, for me, number 6 is the moment where Mr. Incredible apologizes to this family. Of course, one of the protagonists of this film, of course, Mr. Incredible, the patriarch of the family. It's a guy who's living a rather mundane existence. After retiring the mask. Like other superheroes. He's excited. He wants to some excitement in his life, some adventure. And he's not really paying attention to his movie already. You got really, as his family's all captured by syndrome, and he apologizes to him for bringing them into this mess. You gotta give it to Craig T. Nelson. He just gives a terrific performance. He really sells the scene. I mean, and he says you are his greatest adventure. You can really feel, you really believe him when he's pouring his heart out to his family, as they're in this very, very, very dangerous situation. You just really feel the moment. You really feel it there, and he really, as he tries to reconcile. I mean, when he's trying to reconcile with them, it's definitely writing all around A plus. Definitely, it's definitely A plus, most certainly. Mike, why don't I come to you next? Why don't you give us number 6 on your list?
All right, my number 6 is from Toy Story 3, and it is Spanish Buzz. I mean, when they hold in that reset button a little bit too long. And suddenly he pops up and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And he starts speaking in Spanish. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Because we all have had toys that they get switched into Spanish and like, how the hell do we fix this? And then he starts like doing that that dance, that Spanish dance around with Jesse, and it's just, I mean, the fact that I think they get the Spanish dub voice for Buzz to do all of his lines there. It's absolutely perfect. It's just such an unexpected humorous point in a pretty deep movie, but that was a very, very nice and very well needed moment of levity.
So does Buzz speak in English in the Spanish version of the movie or something then?
That's a great question.
That's what I've always wondered. Because like the joke is kind of doesn't make sense in the Spanish. But
I wonder if they get Tim Allen to do the voice of the English lines in. All
right. That's particularly quite a hilarious moment. That scene is just dynamite for me. Still get a kick out of it, man. Okay, Colton, why don't you give us number 6 on your list?
Number 6 on my list is the opening from Toy Story 2. I mean, not only is it hilarious in hindsight due to all the Star Wars gags and Star Wars sound effects in it, but it's just a funny moment in general. It's like I didn't know what to expect from the opening of Toy Story 2 before we found out that the tradition would be that every opening would be a playtime scenario. But the way they did this, the animation was excellent. Seeing Buzz flying into that planet and being surrounded by all those Zurg bots, and then all Zurg's death traps and what have you. It was basically just a kind of like a mini Pixar film in a Pixar film. It was like the Pixar short before the main film and what have you. And when I saw Buzz get blown apart, I'm like, what the hell just happened? Okay, I was a kid, so I didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking now. That's probably I probably would have thought if I was an adult, though. And then we saw the words "game over" appear on the screen. Oh my gosh, that was a hilarious cap on the joke. It's like Zurg's like, then hearing that the game over music, it was like dun 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 dun. Oh boy, I could watch that opening like anytime, any day.
All right, great choice there, Colton. Great choice. Okay, moving on to the top 5. Okay, the top 5 favorite moments from these films. Okay, and for number 5 for me is from Toy Story 3, Spanish Buzz. Definitely one of the great highlights of these movies for sure. It's definitely what you're like. I mean, can anything just capture the moment of just being? I mean, just hey, amigo, enemy. It's just, can anyone just? Is there a perfect moment where you're just completely stunned? At how unexpected that moment was. It's like it's proof of yeah. Pixar, when it comes to these types of situations, there's going to be no easy way out. Definitely, it's just things have become much more complicated, and that it gets us even more emotionally invested because this is just with these things, But even though with Spanish Buzz, that's like a stroke of genius right there. It's stroke. This is like how you can just the amount of balls it took, just like to come up with a new problem for our characters. It could have, I don't know if it could have erased some folks, but yet you can nevertheless, just like applaud, the bold decision to go with that. I mean, it's it's just wholly confounded the whole time. It's just as it's hilarious as well. It's just like it's just hilarious as well. It's just like oh.
Was like your Scante.
But yeah, that I like how they made that like a and of course that whole thing just set up just a whole new running gag. It's just like that's just brilliant moment right there. Okay, Mike, why don't you give us number 5 on your list?
Okay, my number 5 is from Toy Story 1, and it is Drunk Buzz.
I think you've had enough tea for today. Let's get you out of here, bud. Don't you get it?
I miss his Nesbit. But I mean, it's simultaneously hilarious, but also like really touching because he's just come to the realization that he's not a spacer. He is actually just a toy. So he's just gone into this massive depression, and he's gotten like this quasi drunk in one imaginary tea, and Woody's got to come around and try to snap him out of it and get him. You know what? You are a toy, but you think of how much joy you can bring to Andy through that, and that that knocks him out. I mean it proves how great of filmmaker Pixar is that they can take such an emotional moment and still give it that really hilarious twist to it.
All right.
And this is Nesbit.
Some of that looked good. The paper was a bit much, but
yeah. It's just like right, great pick. Right on there, Mike. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number 5 on your list?
Number 5 on my list is pretend it's a seed, okay? But it's a rock. I know it's a rock. Don't you think I know a rock when I see a rock? I spend a lot of time around rocks. Oh boy, I love that scene because it's like I love how they used them. The comedic timing is great, and it was a good way to keep the audience's attention while trying to get their point across concerning the lesson about having time and patience and all that jazz. And I loved how the gag actually came back at the end of the movie when Doc broke Flick out of his depression over being banished from the colony. And of course, I love it. I also love that moment because it was a liar revealed scenario, and yet, despite the fact that Dot looked up to Flick more than anybody else, and as such had every reason to hate him more than anybody, she actually comes back to him and does the pretended to see thing to break him out of the moment. It's something you don't really see that often in liar revealed scenarios, I think.
All right, definitely. Okay, all right, going on to number 5. All right, going on to number 5 on my list.
Don't you mean number 4?
Go ahead. Oh, you were saying?
Don't you mean 4?
Right. No. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, number 4. My goodness. Jeez. Okay, yeah, going on to number 4 on my list is the scene where they're at. It's the scene where Woody and Buzz are piece of planet, and they're trying to find their way back home to sleep. And and of course, Buzz is not over the not over. He's still not, he's still not processing the fact that he's a toy. And Woody is just he's about had it. He's about to throw him under the bus. He's like, when he goes to that moment when he finally explodes this, "You are a toy."
Yeah,
This is fabulous. How Tom Hanks, just blows his fuse has been blown, and it's done, and it's just frustration, and it's done in the and it's done in an utterly hilarious fashion, and then he has and Tim Allen's Buzz has a equally great response, and to counter that, it's like, "You are a sad, strange little man, you have my pities." Yeah, you can really sense it at this point. These guys, at this point, they're like two pieces of steel. It's just sparks just fly everywhere. That was definitely a well handled moment, and most certainly it's just it's, and like I said, I particularly enjoyed that. It's a scene I never really get tired of watching. It's just utterly terrific. I just roll over every time I'm watching. Okay, Mike.
Sorry. I was going to say, the best part about that scene is that Buzz references Star Wars and Star Trek at the same time. Like, first he's talking about Zurg's evil weapon, and then he's like, I alone have information that contains its only weakness, and you were responsible for delaying my rendezvous, Star Command. But then Woody's like, "You are a toy," and all that jazz. And then when Buzz says, "You're a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity," then he says, "Farewell," and then he does the Vulcan salute.
So many great references in that movie.
Yes, yeah. And of course, Star Wars references are top notch, especially in Toy Story 2. Oh, nice, definitely. All right. Okay, Mike, why don't you give us number 4 on your list?
All right, my number 4 is from The Incredibles, and it's any scene with Edna Mole. That is probably one of my favorite characters Pixar has ever created. Yes. Voiced by Brad Bird, the director. It's like, Edna Mole. And how the lasers come out, like, and friend. And like she's going through and just pointing out like all the features she put into the super suits. Like, I don't know what the baby's powers are, so I did a little bit of everything. It's like, yeah, it can withstand. It stretches, it breathes, and it can withstand fires of up to like 5,000 degrees.
I'm actually watchable, darling. That's a new feature.
And like, for you, darling.
No capes.
No capes, darling.
I mean, Brad Bird just obviously had so much fun with that character, and it's just a brilliant character, brilliantly used. And if they don't bring her back for the sequel, there'll be a big old huge gap missing.
Yes.
I'll be outraged.
Yes, I think everyone will be.
You're not. Yeah, I was about to say you're not going to be the only one who's going to be your friend, But he doesn't love Edna Mole. Jeez. Okay. All right, Colton, why don't you give us number 4 on your list?
Number 4 on my list is the opening of Up, because no Pixar list would be complete without it. Mm-hmm. And like Mike said, it's just a short few minutes scene about two characters that meet as kids, get married, and then grow old together. But it's done so well that it can really get you right here, man. Right here, man. And it's like almost. And I think the best part about it is that you could almost just end the movie right there, and I think the audience will be satisfied. It was like the Pixar, like with like with Toy Story and all and a few other films. It was like the Pixar short before the main film. Only sure, Up's actual plot line was kind of absurd compared to the first few minutes, but it works out in the end. And you can understand why Carl was so bitter for the rest of the movie afterwards. It was a good way to set up the main conflict and all that jazz. So once again, props to Pixar. Of course, a joke. Even though a joke I've always seen. Whenever I read about the scene on YouTube and whatnot, there's always bound to be at least one person that says, Pixar did in 4 minutes what Stephanie Meyer's going to do in 4 books and whatnot.
Okay, all right, great, yeah, great choice there. Great, absolutely, delightful choice there. Okay, going on to number 3 on my list, and number 3 on my list is the moment from of course, with the Incredibles, Edna Mode. Who doesn't love Edna Mode? It's like the whole no cape, especially the whole no cape speech. You're just dying laughing with this woman just like when she's just like when you're just dying, the entire time when you talk about this woman's disdain for superhero capes.
I love how that comes full circle at the very end too.
Oh, yeah.
When Syndrome gets caught with his cape.
Oh, definitely.
Talk about black comedy right there.
Black comedy. But yeah, it's just like any moment with her, it's just pure gold. And like I said, Brad Bird, just like you just like you can't help but fall in love with this, sassy, very charming woman. Just like that Brad Bird, brought to life. It's just like every line of hers is just like. The way she interacts with the characters, it's just like magic, and just like the dog. I mean, she's I think, I believe she's kind of like a take on a very famous costume designer for movies like Edith Head. If you believe what we're saying that, Yeah, I mean, of course, I've heard of Edith Head, but that she was definitely inspired, by that woman. She's just like, but it's just you just admire how utterly bold they make these moments with her. It's just like, I mean, she definitely brought a levity to to that movie, and the movie would have been poor without her. She's definitely like, any moment, like I said, any moment with her, it's just like, it makes the moment stand out. I mean, it just makes it more electrifying with her in it. It's just I just love that character so much. Definitely love her. All right, Mike, why don't you give us a number 3 on your list?
I got to say, when I saw Star Wars episode Star Wars Force Awakens, and I saw Maz Kanata, I was like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Edna Mode.
Yeah. It's fun, sassiness.
Yeah. My number 3 moment is the very end of Inside Out, when it was flashing between all the multiple people and it's going into their minds. You got the teacher. She's like, okay, just a few more days, and then we go to the islands. and then and then it goes to the bus driver, and they're all anger. And you get the callback to the triple mentum. We'll make you. And then, of course, you got the dogs. I smell pizza. The man has pizza. and my favorite is absolutely the cat. The cat is just sleeping there, and the cat's going and starts jumping all around. Yeah. As you saw with my cat, that unfortunately is gone now. That's pretty much what they're like all the time. So. Yeah, that part, I mean, in a movie that was so standout with lots of emotion and lots of humor, that one moment, I think, is probably my favorite. It's saying a lot, but I love that moment so much.
Okay, all right, great choice there. Great pick. Okay, Colton, why don't you give us number 3 on your list?
Number 3 on my list is also from Inside Out, and it's the scene where Riley has had a pretty bad first day moving into the new home and whatnot, and she goes to bed and has a nightmare at first, so Joy decides to shut the nightmare off and takes Riley to her happy place by playing a happy memory. With the animation mixed with the score that was playing and then seeing Joy just ice skating alongside the memory. It was very heartwarming, and it perfectly shows the kind of character that Joy is, and it makes for good foreshadowing also, since we saw that Joy actually broke the rules in order to try and Joy broke the rules in order to make Riley happy, even though, well, and then we see later on in the film that even though a core memory core memories always have to be integrated, she tries to prevent sadness from doing so because Joy just wants what's best for Riley and what have you. And the happy place memory was a pretty good way of establishing that, I think, and it's just the kind of thing that you would want to go to. It's the kind of memory that you would want to go to sleep on. The kind of thing that you would want to go to sleep on, I guess you could say. And I love how she promises Riley that she's going to make sure that tomorrow is a great day. I really love Joy. I mean, yeah, she's a bit of a control freak, but I love how motherly she is. Some very good voice work from Amy Poehler. Yeah.
Okay, right on. Okay, going on to number 2, and number 2 for me is the moment where Andy bids his farewell to all the toys that he has played with since childhood. That's Woody, Buzz, Ham, and Slinky Dog. Yeah, he's all big. He's going on a different path now. And thinking about it, even thinking about it now, it's like, that scene just like, it's just a roller coaster of emotions. Definitely, it's just like when you see that, it's the culmination of everything we've been building towards. It is joyous, but yet at the same time it is melancholic. I mean, yeah, even though, there are going to be new adventures, for this game for years to come, but you can't help but, feel a bit of sadness, as, Andy's going to start off his new life, and of course, he's handing the toys on to Bonnie, it still gets me right here, it's still like, it's still effective emotionally, and it speaks profoundly, I think, to the themes of the movie about moving on, just like going forward. We had some great moments with Andy, but at the same time, it's just you can't help but you can't help but feel something when he's seen them for the last time. Definitely. Okay, Mike, why don't you give us a number 2 on your list?
All right, my number 2 is the romance between Eve and Wally. I mean, it says a lot about the quality of filmmakers when they can make you so desperately and emotionally invested in characters that really don't talk. I mean, for the first, I would say 30, 45 minutes, the movie is essentially a silent movie with, the only words that they say are Wally and Eve. Yeah. I mean, that's it. And the progression of their romance throughout the entire movie, it really gets you invested in those characters so much more, right to the very last moment when it looks like Wally's lost all of his memories, and you can tell the amount of sorrow that Eve has, even just for a robot, that she finally realizes how much he means to her, and that, I mean, the whole resolution of that is just it is emotionally, it's just so intense, and it is one of the reasons that is probably my, I think that's my third favorite Pixar movie of all time, mainly because of how well they make those two characters just through their actions and just how we observe them.
Yeah, Wall-E is definitely a favorite of mine. It's just like looking at that movie. It's just like this is like the actions of them are almost pantomime in a sense, almost kind of like Charlie Chaplin, almost balletic. Wall-E's definitely a favorite for me, probably behind Finding Nemo.
Mm.
Right on, right on. Colton, why don't you give us number 2 on your list?
Number 2 on my list is the incinerator scene from Toy Story 3. Oh my gosh, was that scene disturbing. It was like watching my childhood about to get burned alive. I mean, Toy Story 2 like brought out the fact that, yeah, you guys are going to get thrown away eventually, but as a kid I never really thought much of it and thought, yeah, we'll probably never actually see that happening, and then suddenly they're at the dump and they're about to get burned alive in the incinerator, and I've never been so happy to see a Deus Ex Machina before in my life when the when the little green alien saved them with the claw. But before that, just seeing them all just deciding to resign to their fate that they're going to die and they hold hands and prepare for the inevitable, that's very heavy. And I just cannot. I was just saying, how are they going to get out of this? Please let this be a dream or something. I don't know. I don't care what, just something save them. Because we've been Toy Story. We've been growing up with these toys since our own childhood, and just to see, it was more or less like, I don't know, our childhood is about to end with those toys getting destroyed. It would have been a very, very harsh, it was very bold of Pixar to actually to go where they did, you know. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. And I'm glad that they're still around, and even if this means we'll get Toy Story 4, I'd rather have a world where we had Toy Story 4 and the toys are still alive than a world where Toy Story 3 ended with them all dying.
Excellent point.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, going on to number 1. Okay, my number 1 top favorite moment, my top number 1 moment from all the Pixar movies. It is the incinerator scene from Toy Story 3. Never has there been such a gripping and suspenseful scene as this in any Pixar movie. I mean, we're like Colton. I was like, they wouldn't do this in a Pixar movie, but it's almost unthinkable that they would, have the amount of guts to place them as such and the parallel event seems so genuine and terrifying. The thought that these toys may be shredded, it's almost traumatic. It's almost just, and Colton's right. It is disturbing that they're in a parallel situation like that. They face genuine death. I mean, yeah, Toy Story was different in 3. Yeah, it's supposed to be the finale of the whole thing, and they were really going to close out the series. But yeah, of course they're going to do a Toy Story 3. Excuse me, a Toy Story 4. But but with this moment, it's like, your heart. I don't think my heart was ever beating as fast as. There are a couple of times, there are a couple of times where. There are a few moments where that my heart was beating so much during it, but this was definitely one of the moments where it's definitely an edge on your seat moment. It's unnerving. It's definitely a well handled moment. It's well executed. It's definitely the top of the top, most certainly. Okay, Mike, why don't you give us number 1 on your list?
When they all hold hands like that, I'm like, that is just a beautiful moment in a really beautiful movie.
Yeah.
And my number 1 moment, it also comes from Toy Story 3, and it is Andy's last play with his toys. I can't think of any moment in the last maybe 20 years that I've been watching movies that I can think of a moment that so got me emotionally. I mean, I was in the theaters watching this, and I had tears streaming down my face because I'm like, it was the most beautiful conclusion to the Toy Story trilogy that you could possibly imagine, but at the same time, it was just like, them, Andy, forcing himself to put the toys behind, but he wanted to have that one last play with his toys, with the emotional anchors that he's had for his entire life. I'm just trying to think about it right now. I'm still kind of I'm getting a little bit verklempt here. It's just I mean, when you think of Pixar, you got the all the animated movies. You think okay, the animated movies are for kids.
Yeah.
This was not a kid's moment. This was a moment that every adult knows about, and reliving it just brings back all the emotions that you remember having when you said, okay, I've got to put my toys behind me. It was the most beautiful moment in any Pixar movie, and that's why it's my number one.
Absolutely, definitely. This is a great top notch movie.
Yeah, that again.
Absolutely. Okay, Colton, why don't you give us number one on your list?
Before I do that, here are a few quick honorable mentions. First is the scene where Andy plays with his toys one last time in Toy Story 3 for the reasons you guys mentioned. It was just a perfect cap on our childhoods growing up with Toy Story, among other things. And then next is the ending credits for Monsters Incorporated, where we actually see them putting on the play, put the thing back where it came from, or so help me. It's like we saw them like making a joke about that earlier, so like okay, that's pretty funny. But to see them actually go through with that joke and make an actual play out of it, it was pretty funny. Especially, it was also heartwarming at the same time, since they also dedicated to Boo, saying that she helped them find a better tomorrow. And of course, there is the no Buzz, I am your father from Toy Story 2. All those Star Wars jokes are so hilarious in hindsight now.
And I'm playing catch with my dad. This is okay.
And also, Where's My Super Suit from The Incredibles, and No Capes also from The Incredibles.
Honey, where's my super suit? Where's my super suit?
I kind of wish the Where's My Super Suit scene happened at the beginning of the film, because I can almost picture Frozo's wife saying, "There's an army of superheroes in this city. I'm pretty sure they don't need you for this one, okay?"
Where's My Super Suit? That one almost made my list. It was this close, because Samuel L. Jackson was so perfect as Frozone.
And there's You Are a Toy.
My super suit is woman.
Your Child's Play thing from Toy Story 1. And also for Toy Story 2, when Woody says that he won't miss seeing Andy grow up for the world, that was sure, it's him kind of resigning to his fate that someday he'll get thrown away, but it was kind of uplifting, because as he always says, he's going to be there for Andy as long as he needs him, And one final honorable mention, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot, two more honorable mentions are Hopper's introduction in A Bug's Life. He made quite an impression in that scene. And I also loved his the moment where he says, "Are you saying I'm stupid?" And he's like, "Let's just think about the logic here for a second now, shall we? If the food was up there, would I be coming down here to your level looking for it?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's a good point, And the last honorable mention is the revelation that Lotso is evil in Toy Story 3. It's like we've been seeing the theme of Toy Story survival have been going on was nothing new to Toy Story, but the moment where we see all those toys ambush Buzz and what Lotso does to him afterwards, it was a pretty violent turn for the toy survival theme, and perfectly set him up as the bad guy. However, my number one moment from any Pixar film is...
Hey, Buzz! You're flying! This isn't flying. This is falling with style. To infinity and beyond!
Oh boy, that scene gets me every time. It's like the fact that Buzz somehow managed to fly makes absolutely no sense, but it's one of those times where I could say, you know what, it's a movie, so screw it. It's just, it's absolutely perfect the way they actually have Buzz manage to somehow be able to fly, and to see what he's saying to infinity and beyond. It was just like a great way to signify that he's finally put his rivalry with Buzz behind him, And the musical score is just so uplifting. I can watch that scene 1,000 times, always quoting to infinity and beyond. And of course, there's Woody saying, "Buzz, we missed the truck. We're not aiming for the truck." And then they land in the car next to Andy. It's just, it really gets you, It's like, it's the first moment it's the first, like, truly, there were a lot of memorable moments from Toy Story, but that was the moment where they, like, truly just took advantage of the fact that they were a movie and made a scene that nobody will ever forget.
Yeah, great pick. This is a great pick, definitely.
Al infinito y más allá.
Okay, nice. Okay, guys, no, do it for our show. This is definitely a lot. This is definitely great doing this. A lot of fun, like talking, counting down our favorite moments from this incredible studio. I'd like to thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Definitely. Yes, yeah, I know. You're wondering about you're wondering, of course, maybe about our Flash Hour Legends to Tomorrow recap show. We make sure to get that back on track this upcoming Friday or Saturday. Make sure you check that out. And also in the next week we will be doing our the top 10 most favorite movie characters, the most memorable movie characters of all time. Next Monday, so make sure to check out for that. And okay, I'd like to thank the people joining me, for this whole thing. Mike, like I said, it's always great doing this with you.
Yeah, always great being here, and big shout out to Caleb, and congratulations to him and Gretchen on the birth of their son.
Yes, I was about to mention that. Yeah, I almost forgot that. Yeah, but yeah. Congrats. I mean, of course, the guy who founded this whole thing, Caleb Test. I mean, his fiancee Gretchen have brought a baby boy into this world, and we are just thrilled that his son is brought into the world. So congrats to them, certainly.
Right, he's been brought into this nerdy world.
Best kind.
Okay, all right, Colton. Like I said, great having you here. It's always great to have you on the show.
And great. I was glad to be a part of this episode after having to miss out on the last Disney conversation you guys had like a week ago. I would have been here for that, but I just wasn't sure what I wanted from Disney and all that jazz. But glad I was able to be a part of this one.
Yeah, we will definitely probably do a redux on that in the future, so we're probably going to check that out. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us on this particular episode, and make sure to tune in next week, as I said, for our top 10 most memorable, most favorite movie characters of all time. Until next time, fellow nerds around the world, goodbye.